West Jones, Citizens United. It's Friday, June the 29th. This is episode number 35. Bam! Ooh, boy. I downloaded this app. You know, there's a lot of apps out there that exercise your brain. You know, Luminosity is one with a red and blue brain. You know, try it, man. Download that shit, do that stuff. But anyway, um, Friday, June the 29th. My name is Wes Jones. Anybody that doesn't know why I'm wearing this, first of all, let me say this. But I'm wearing this because without this talking, I look funny. I don't like the way I look funny. So what happened that made me look funny is that at 53, my doctors, the dentist, my family, not that I had any missing teeth or rotten teeth, but there were some spaces created by diabetes and gum disease that just wasn't, it looked terrible, you know, and it wasn't getting better, you know, so, you know, I had it done anyway, it's done. July the 10th, I go to the dentist and try, I go pick them up and try them on, you know, take them out for a test drive, you know what I mean? Hopefully, you know, it won't be no pain or nothing where I got to go back like, yo, this spot right here, you know. So today's Friday. Wednesday, I sat down, I picked the color, you know, which is important. You know, I didn't do white like, you know, like this, you know, motherfuckers look like they got chiclets in their mouth and shit. You know, it's off-white, you know, it's off-white, you know, looks normal, you know, a lot better. And the gum color, you know. So, and I made the mold, the molding. The molding was done too. So, that's over. So, July the 10th, I go back and I pick them up. And you know, then we get, you know, so I get to eat. I have not, I mean, like, there's a lot of things you can eat. You'll find, you know, you will eat, you know what I mean? But damn, I miss motherfucking a hamburger, a hot dog, a piece of pizza, a fucking steak, like, man. But anyway, today I'm going to attempt to do something that I've never done before, man. As you see, I'm 3 minutes in and I'm back, I'm doing what I usually do, like just running off at the mouth, right? But today I'm finna do something, man. I'm finna go through this motherfucking information like bam, 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 bam. Nigga, I'm finna get this shit. I'm finna do this shit, bro. I'm finna cover a whole lot of motherfucking ground right now, bro. For real. You know what I mean? And we gonna start right here. Yes, sir. Okay. So, well, first of all, let's start out with today. What's going on today? Okay. Yesterday, there was a hearing on Congress where the Assistant Attorney General, Rob Rosenstein, God bless him, he's Captain America. Listen, $700 billion in military, 35,000 FBI agents, 100,000 CIA and black operatives out here, and guess what? They've all been defeated. Our fate lies in the hands of Mr. Rod Rosenstein. He is Captain America. He is defending everything that we live for today. And yesterday, there was a hearing on Capitol Hill where the House Republicans, who are actively colluding with the Russians and the Trump team to undermine the United States investigation, to the House Republicans that were present in that hearing yesterday, and some that are not, are actively colluding with Russia to help Donald Trump undermine America's political system. One of the biggest questions today on Morning Joe and throughout all of the progressive news outlets is, why are they doing this? You know, why is the Republican Party trying to undermine the investigation? You know, the biggest question is, why is Donald Trump attacking the FBI, trying to undermine the investigation, when in reality the FBI helped him get elected by James Comey doing what he did, you know, 10 days before the election, a month before that. All of the actions of the FBI against Hillary Clinton, it is a well-known fact, helped Donald Trump. The FBI's decision to only tell the American people that Hillary was under the investigation, knowing at that time that Donald Trump was also under investigation, was absolutely not fair. It wasn't right. And the decision to do that helped Donald Trump get elected. So everybody this morning in the political realm is asking themselves, like, why are they attacking the FBI when the FBI's actions actually helped him? Okay? So here, I'm going to tell you why right quick. The reason is because Donald Trump knows he's guilty. He knows what he did. He knows what the Russians have. He knows what the United Emirates have. He knows what he's being blackmailed to do to America against America. He knows that he's busted. He knows that Robert Mueller knows he's busted. Every time Robert Mueller grabs one of his friends, takes their electronic devices, raids their homes, the whole 9 yards. The devil is busy today, I'm going to tell y'all that. But the whole 9 yards, his friends call him, or he calls them and says, hey man, what did they ask you? What did they say? Did they ask about me? What did they say? Did they say So he knows he's busted. He knows he's guilty. There's no doubt about that. You know? So that's where we are today. So yesterday they attacked, the Republicans who are colluding and actively engaged in activity directed at undermining an ongoing federal investigation into the corruption or collusion of the Trump campaign. These Republicans just, went after these two elected public officials who are patriotic Americans, absolutely doing their job, the ultimate professionals, and they went after them. It was disgraceful. And so I just wanted to, the question out there for the progressives, everybody wants to know why they're doing that. Well, he knows he's guilty. And he knows that he has one shot, and that is to shut this investigation down. Man, the devil's busy today. And that's what he's doing. That's why he keeps coming out saying there's no collusion, this is a witch hunt. Well, the reality is 5 people have been convicted, and that there's 13 Russians who've been indicted that are on the run, and there's about 7 or 8 other people who are still going to court and negotiating, cooperating. So, so far, there's been about 25 to 30 witches. And so far that there is evidence of collusion. So far, there is evidence of obstruction. So, the investigation that has only been 292 days, which is the shortest investigation in the history of this country, okay? The Iran-Contra investigation went almost 3,000 days. The Whitewater investigation of the Clintons went over almost 2,000 days. The Benghazi investigations by the Republicans went over almost 400 days. I think it was 2 years. So that's like 2.5 years. So, it's over 600 days. And yet the Republicans are impatient about a very important election, about a foreign adversary that undermined the most important political election in the United States. A hostile foreign adversary. Our country was attacked digitally. That's a hostile action. It requires massive, reaction. I mean, just imagine if you get violated, you got to hit back. So for them to insinuate that the shortest election in the history, not the shortest investigation in the history of these types of controversies is somehow an inconvenience after it's already got 5 guilty pleas. 5. And 13 indictments of people that are actually fugitives, around the world being, that we can't get at, is preposterous. This investigation, they're talking about the cost of the investigation. Well, come to find out that at the current state of this investigation right now, it has cost less to investigate whether or not a hostile foreign government invaded our political system, which the world's international community has already agreed that it happened. This investigation has cost less than what it has cost the United States taxpayers for Donald Trump to fly back and forth to his resorts to play golf. So anyway, let me get back to what I said I was going to do, which is, just go through this shit, man, and talk. I'm 11 minutes in. The devil is busy, talking about the signal's weak and, you know what I mean? So, but okay, so dig. Okay, the reason why, everything is upside down right now with a majority of white Caucasian Americans, most of which happen to be gay. Oh my God, I said gay. Happen to be racist, right? The reason why things are upside down is there's a group of white people in this country. They're not Hispanic. They're not Muslim. They're not black. These are white Americans in this country. There's a group of them. And within that group, there's a large percentage of them that are second, third, fourth generation racists. Ku Klux Klan, white nationalists, however you want to label them, Nazis, whatever you want to call them, right? The fact of the matter is that these people are afraid that America is getting too brown. With census statistics that suggest at some point in the future, this may not be an all-white country. And that's fueling what's going on. So basically what it is the GOP is petrified of the emergence of the minority population and growth. As a result, we've seen an uptick in the Klan and in racist behavior. We have seen in the last year lynchings, black trees. We have seen, once again, police officers murdering black men for simply being black. We are seeing, once again, average citizens attacking minorities simply for being minorities. And the reason they're doing that is because, first and foremost, from a political standpoint, they got the news in 1988 that they do not have the votes to win any type of fair, balanced election. That's why they do everything under the sun to undermine our election systems. And now they have begun to align themselves with foreign adversaries, countries like Russia, Pakistan, China, to undermine our election systems. quite frankly, I don't think the Republican Party is even eligible to participate in political elections in the United States with all the violations that we have and that we see. And as progressives, that's something you should be talking about. The United States voting systems are obsolete, easily manipulated, and have been manipulated since day one. The United States systems that we use for voting are obsolete. They're weak. Now, if we've discovered over the last 10 years that every computer system in America has been hacked and has been attacked and has been violated and manipulated, whether it's Goldman Sachs, the financial district, whether it's the intelligence community, the CIA, the FBI systems have been violated and penetrated. Whether it's the DMV, whether it's Homeland Security, the Social Security Administration, whether it's credit card companies, all these systems are vulnerable and have a history of being attacked and manipulated. Why in the world are we allowing the Republicans who handpicked Dick Cheney, handpicked the voting system that we have and the corporation that designs it? So are we surprised as we find out that these systems are being manipulated? You know, the voting systems are obsolete. We absolutely can do secure voting. It's being done around the world. Some countries have already gone to voting online by your cell phone. Every institution in America has a system in place to verify that you are you when you do business. Whether it's texting you an access code that only you can receive, that only you can use, or whether it's asking you questions, security questions that you implemented, that only you know the answer to. But every institution in America has a way of verifying you are who you are that allows you to do business. And there are some countries that are allowing people to vote using that same system. But the Republicans don't want us to vote. Why? They found out in 1988 by doing that they will never win an election. So they have to steal the election. Every Republican president that has been elected in your lifetime was elected in an illegitimate election that was actually manipulated by third-party access, which meant that they're actually stealing these elections. So if you happen to be in the Gore versus Bush election and saw what they did and lived through that, they stole that election, right? So now here we are again today. And with the help of the Russians, they stole this election, right? Because the voting systems are vulnerable. They knew it. So all they're doing is manipulating the systems. So we found out that since the president has taken office, he has not ordered any of our intelligence institutions to secure our voting system and make sure it doesn't happen again. And as we wake up today in America, that's another question that came up. And this is for my progressives. Again, take notes. The question is, why didn't Donald Trump order, executive order, the shoring up and securing of America's voting system so that we don't get violated again? Why didn't he do that, right? The question today again in America, my progressive brothers and sisters, is why is the GOP not going after Russia for violating our systems? And why are they protecting Russia by not going after Russia for violating our election systems? And why are they not demanding that our election systems are shored up and secured, because evidence suggests that the Russians are at it again in the 2018 election? So the question today again in America, progressive, is why are the GOP not fighting to get the system secured? Well, it's very simple, and I want you guys to really use this. The reason why they're not is because the system works for them. Russia is not attacking them. Russia benefited them. Russia is helping them. The engagement of Russia helps them. So why would they stop that? That's like asking the Republicans to vote for campaign finance reform. Why would they do that? It benefits them. By voting for campaign finance reform, they would be hurting themselves. By stopping the Russians from interfering in our elections would hurt themselves. They wouldn't be hurting the Democrats. I want you to understand this, progressives. If the GOP stops Russia, they're helping the Democrats. Russia is an adversary of the GOP. Simple as that. So, as we see here recently, North Korea, Russia, China, is basically pimping Trump. All of the dark leaders are basically pimping Trump. North Korea, Trump is demanding, the first time in the history of this country, we have a man that's a known liar that we can't trust. Can't nobody trust him. His 3 ex-wives can't trust him. Okay? This man is setting up meetings with the leader of North Korea, where he's demanding that nobody be in the room but him and the dictator. Matter of fact, not only can nobody be in the room, but can't be no listening devices, can't even be nobody in there taking notes. Right? And he wants that same thing. He did the same thing with Russia. He don't want nobody to hear what he's saying, right? So this man has the authority to go in there, give away vast secrets and prosperity of this country, material and immaterial. He can sign documents, give that shit away. This man can die 10 years from now, and those documents and his promises are valid. We don't know what this man is doing when he sits down with these motherfuckers. But I can tell you this, you can best believe it's about some casinos and some motherfucking Trump hotels going to be going up around them joints in North Korea and in Russia. You can believe that shit. So, professional discretion is something that the white, nationalist, racist, political justice system that we live under, that's the tool that they've used, progressives, to create these statistics that just don't make sense. If there's 135 million white people that smoke weed, in the hell can the statistics of incarcerations be so heavily black? And I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, if 10 million white people are committing just as many crimes as 1 million black people, why is it that all the black people are in jail, right? I'll tell you right now. It's called professional discretion. Professional discretion, progressives, is what the judges use when they decide that a young white man who raped 3 women on 3 different occasions should only get 3 years in prison. Or that a middle-aged black man who stole a slice of pizza on the boardwalk of California should get life. It's called professional discretion. And they are all granted with it. Even police. When police bust a white person with 6 ounces of marijuana and bust a black person with 6 ounces of marijuana, through professional discretion, they can decide to destroy the 6 ounces of marijuana for the white guy and send him home. And they can decide to prosecute the black man to the fullest extent of the law using what's granted to them called professional discretion. Stop party line voting. And this is the message that progressives should be taken to the Republican Party. If you are a poor white person, why are you party line voting to have your insurance taken away from you? Voting to have your food stamps taken away from you? Voting to have your union rights taken away from you? That's party line voting, which makes absolutely no sense. As loyal as you may think you are patriotically to the Constitution and to the racist meat that they throw out for you to devour as you try to make your decision, why are you voting to have your insurance removed, to have your food stamps taken away, to have your, a whole list of things that are affecting you and me? Yeah, sure. It's affecting everybody. But you're voting for the people that's actually doing it to everybody, and you're doing it in a way as if they're not doing it to you. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you voting for men that are taking away health rights and opportunities for your mother, your auntie, your sister, and women over there? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? You voting for people that are taking away your health rights, your work rights, that people that are fighting against equal rights opportunities for you, you're helping them. What the fuck is wrong with you? Stop party line voting and killing yourself. Smile in their face. Yeah, go to the rally. But when you go to the poll, and progressives, this is where you have to talk to them. Talk to them about when they go into the poll. They're not going in there with their husband looking over their shoulder. They're not going in there with their racist neighbor looking over their shoulder. They're going in there by themselves. And they need to make the decision that's best for themselves. Progressives, please tell them about that. Because it is going to hurt them to think about standing up to their neighbor or their husband. They can't. And they shouldn't have to. Those people are nuts. But what they can do is take peace into the fact and comfort and joy and relaxation into the fact that at the end of the day, they get to make their own choice alone. Nobody has to know. Lie about it. Lie about it. You lie about every motherfucking thing else. Yeah, go tell your husband, yes, I voted for Trump. But you're lying your ass off because you voted for what's right. And you know goddamn well what's right. So anyway, what can we do? What can we do? What's the solution? What's the solution? Well, one of the things that I'm getting ready to do as a minority, because I have a business interest on the table right now. And one of the things I'm doing as a minority, and I would suggest if you're Hispanic, if you're black, if you're Asian, do the same thing. Find a bank of your ethnicity. And in my case, it's a black bank. I'm going to find a black bank to do business with. That's one of the first things you can do because you're improving your community. You're empowering your community. Affiliate yourself with the bank of your ethnicity. That's one. Whether you just invest, put $100 in a savings account, or I think one of the best ways you can support a low-risk way to support a bank of your ethnicity is to get a debit card. Just run a little money through there, make some small purchases, you know what I mean? You're helping, right? Okay. Because the power of your dollar is important. So we got to kind of like take a baby step in that direction. And this is one of the easiest ways, and I'll get into that a little bit down the road. But Citizens United Hope for America, what we're bringing to the table is a financial infrastructure. It's time for progressive Democrats to have a war chest. We need a war chest. We need a lump sum of money available to use to defend our Constitution against these corrupt political figures that have to be removed. And the only way we're going to do that is to fight fire with fire. We can't rally. We can't rally them into changing. We can't protest them into changing. We got to fight fire with fire. So that does not mean, donating to this party or contributing on this day. That means an established war chest. What it's called, what it looks like, that's down the road. But Citizens United does have a financial means of revenue that we believe can be used to create that war chest. And basically what it is the subscription fees. My goal one day is to have an app, that you join, the Citizens United, you download the app. And as part of that app, it'll be a $3.99 monthly subscription fee. That app is basically a platform of a wide variety of opportunities, whether it's entertainment, whether it's political, whether it's economic, whether it's educational, whether it's religious. It's a platform for progressives or people that want to meet in the middle and do what's needed to protect this flag. It's an idea, kind of like the traffic light, kind of like the air conditioner. It's an idea. And I'm working hard to bring that idea into reality, So as part of that idea, there's an infrastructure for a war chest, which will be very empowering. Imagine 50 million people contributing to something financially and then seeing through the national promotion these two buses rolling around fighting for justice. Right? And knowing that their $3.99 monthly subscription fee is paying for that. Imagine how empowering that is. How hopeful, uplifting that is to people right now that feel powerless and confused and just don't want no parts of it because it's just too messy, it's too nasty, it's just easier to just walk away. We have to empower people. So that's what I'm doing. The GOP and the Republic clans, alternate universe. They have an alternate universe, man. They have created a alternate universe. Very clever. In the 80s, they came out with all these radio personalities. Rush Limbaugh, Alex Jones, Sean Hannity, all these radio shows. And they began to, what they began to do is to disseminate false and misleading information. They began to like gently tell lies, you know. So then those radio stations turned into TV shows, you know. And through Fox News, they created a whole generation of people that have been fed false and misleading information and that have been bred and taught to disrespect and disregard reality and factual information. That's disturbing. That is no different than terrorism. That's the same thing that terrorists do when they breed terrorists. They have a whole generation of people that's all fucked up. And that's the same thing that the Republicans have done. So, you know, the Republicans are very clever. You know, I've watched them weaponize fiscal irresponsibility. Progressives, listen to what I'm telling you. They have weaponized fiscal irresponsibility. I watched the Republicans in the 80s step up to the platform like men and say, I don't like the education and I'm going to try to shut it down. Or I don't like this and I'm going to shut it down. We don't like that and we're going to shut it down. Well, as they failed in those attempts, the embarrassment and the pain caused them to learn different techniques to arrive at the same objective. And the ultimate technique of tearing down the United States Postal Service or the automobile industry or the education system or welfare or social security or social network, the ultimate weapon that they have discovered is fiscal irresponsibility. They will intentionally lead us down a one-way crash course of economic devastation, as in like the economy, the bottom falling out of the economy, or just intentionally fucking up the economy, right? And by doing that, their mistake becomes the problem of 50 states. That's a clever way to defund, undermine, and destroy the institutions that they're against. So they have weaponized fiscal irresponsibility. And as a result, they've been able to target and destroy entire cities like Detroit, Cleveland, you know, cities like that, and the small cities in the South and all over the country. When they destroy the economy at the top, all these cities suffer. So they've learned how to destroy things through fiscal irresponsibility. Wow. So, Trump has destroyed the future of America, right? The worst thing about this entire scenario is that a man that's been divorced 3 times, had kids by 3 different women, bragged about sexually assaulting women, forcing himself on women, has openly disrespected handicaps, minorities, women, children, currently is open prison camps for babies and children. This man and his actions today are going to shape the future of the United States for decades to come. His judges, who we know are racist, because they have to what is it called? They have to take an oath. They have to swear their allegiance to him, right? So the judges, the environmental laws, the tax initiatives, we're stuck with this for decades. Wow. Donald Trump and the military, $742 billion for the United States military. Biggest corporation in the world. If you ask them to show you $700 billion worth of material, or to show you the financial records of $700 billion worth of movement, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. There's no ships. There's no soldiers. We have the least amount of soldiers, the least amount of ships. Our nuclear silos and facilities are the most antiquated and outdated. We have no borders. We have no ports. Our streets are infested with drugs and crime, and $742 billion with nothing to show for it except poverty. Poverty is what we have to show for it. When you take the money that was designated for your household to maintain the appearance, the glory, the patriotism, the opportunities in your household, when you take that money and you stash it in the Pentagon, you keep, instead of securing your infrastructure or updating your infrastructure of your house and investing in the opportunities of the people in your house and associated with your house, when you take the money that was designated for that and start stashing it like a drug dealer in the stash house, then you can't be surprised when your infrastructure deteriorates and you become impoverished. But the thing I'm telling you today, progressives, is that that's intentional. They didn't want to see the Kennedys fight poverty. They didn't want to see the Kennedys equalize citizenship for all. They didn't want to see the Kennedys bring prosperity to the entire nation. Instead, they had discovered through their ability to lie and make up things like going to the moon. That was a lie, but it was empowering. The need for Vietnam, that was a lie, but it was empowering. Each lie empowered and emboldened them to the point now where they're the largest corporation in the universe. $742 billion this year, almost $1 trillion. While the rest of us are in poverty. 100 people a day are dying from opioids. So look, 43 minutes in, I got all the way to the last page. It was 3 pages. Got all the way to the last page, but battery's dying. Devil's awful busy this morning. But I got a lot done, man. It's been a productive morning. God bless you. God bless America. Find a way to have a voice. Have something to say. And don't let anybody around you that's not perfect convince you that because you're not perfect, something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? And don't stick your head in the sand, man, and pretend that you don't know right from wrong or what's going on. If you're feeling powerless, like it's too confusing, and you don't want nothing to do with it, do me one favor. Simplify it. And the simplest thing you can do is to just simply vote. Don't try to figure it out. Just simply vote for your people. Your people. You got people. Vote for your people. Simply. That's it.